Christmas, the holidays. Yeah, well, I'm not either, so anyway. So we wanted to end the year, obviously we're starting out the year in January with our retreat, which is always a great way to get going and get some great ideas to jump into 2019. But we also felt like it's really important to end the year because a lot of times this is the downtime when you all actually have some time, in between holiday functions, but you're at home and maybe you have some time or some quiet time. It's not quite as busy for you to work on your business plan for the upcoming year. So, as you know, I always kind of try to do things a little bit differently. Hopefully this will be fun, and we want it to be interactive today. There will be homework. We can't do a whole business plan in a 1 hour session. So you'll have the information here that you need, and hopefully walk away feeling energized and want to go ahead and get your business plan together. The expense part in here is the part that you guys are really going to have to go back through, and you'll be doing that because you're going to need to do your taxes and everything. That's boring. We're not going to sit here today. You all, I know, don't have all your expenses together, but there's a good list in here for you all to follow so you'll know how to fill in and what your expenses are so you can get to your final numbers. So that'll be kind of homework today. So we're going to start out with our business planning. We always want to make sure when we're planning our business that we have some sort of mission, some sort of vision. Why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we here? We're all obviously here we want to have a profitable business and make money. But that's not what truly drives people. So and there's a great book out there, Find Your Why. So if you haven't read that book yet, Find Your Why. It's a great book to read. But we're going to kind of talk about that a little bit before we get into our business plan, because if you are not motivated by something other than money, then you probably are going to fail in the long run with your business. There's got to be something that makes you get out of bed every day. There's got to be some sort of joy and excitement and something that you do when you're coming to the office or meeting people or what is your why? Why are we doing this? We don't we don't go out, even though some of our clients think so, we just go out because we love to show houses. We don't. We don't look at houses. That may be part of it, but that's not why we get out of bed every day. We're there to help people get to the other side of it and to earn a living. And what does that living support for us? And that many times is what your why is. So we're really going to look at that before we get into our business planning and getting into the meat of it. So there's a great quote at your first page here from Les Brown. When your why is big enough, you will find your how. So when your why is big enough, you're going to figure out how to do it. That's when we tell you to do the calls and the notes and the pop-bys and the stuff you guys hate to do. But if you have your why in front of you, you will do it. The how will be there. So finding your why really helps to motivate you to do the things you don't really want to do every day. So why do we want it? The next page. And this comes from, I kind of pulled things from a lot of different resources that I've had that we've taught over the years between Buffini and Momentum and Tom Ferry and kind of pulling things together. So this first page, I want everybody to take a few minutes to write down why. Why do you want it? Why do you want to get up and work every day? Why do you want to earn a living? What are the reasons? Is it to support your family? Is it to support your retirement or build for your retirement? Is it to buy your dream home? Is it to just be comfortable, in your day-to-day life and have the things that you want to have? Is it a charity reason that you have a passion for giving? Is it because you really do like, the other side of it and helping people get to find their homes and helping them through the process? What's your why? What is your driving force? And the income that you're earning, what is that funding? Is it your kids' college? Is it your grandkids? Is it, what is it that's funding? So take a couple minutes and write down a few whys. And again, you can take this home and reflect a little bit more. So we're just going to take a couple minutes and write a few things in there. So does everybody have at least a few things down? And again, you can continue to work on that later. So at the bottom of the page, you'll see, you know, that now those whys. So if you succeed, what ends up happening? And if you fail, what ends up happening? So I think that's why you can really get into your why. If you fail, and hey, you plan on, you know, funding your child's college, well, what does that mean? They're gonna have to get a grant, or they can possibly not go to college. That's where we kind of get into the deeper emotion of what's your why, and what happens if you don't make that happen, you know? So take a couple minutes, and hey, if you succeed, fantastic, this is what happens. If you don't, what are the consequences of failing on your plan that we're going to build here in a little bit? Y'all, does that put a pit in anybody's stomach a little bit? Okay, so we're gonna go back to that, and that's a page that I want you guys to keep out for actually the whole year, you know? Post this somewhere where you can, you know, when you're getting up to do your calls, notes, and Popeyes, and, you know, the things that you need to do that you don't really wanna do, that are uncomfortable, keep this out so that you can see this is truly your why and what's gonna happen if I fail, and it keeps you motivated day to day to carry out your plan. All right, now we're gonna get into what are the things, because when we talk about this, well, okay, we have this why, we have this wonderful thing of why, you know, why we want to achieve our plan, why do we want to do it, why do we want to succeed. But let's face it, many of us don't succeed to where we want, to the level that we want to succeed at. You know, many of us have great goals, and you should have goals that stretch yourself a little bit. But what's the reason that we don't reach those goals? And so the next couple pages are the 4 addictions that we tend to have that get us distracted, that keep us from moving toward our goals. So number 1, the opinion of others. How many times do you know, have people, I can remember when I started my own business and it was commission-based only, I had some people say, are you crazy? You're gonna give up a regular paycheck? You know, that's nuts. What are you doing? You're a single mom, what are you doing? You know, well, forget that. If I listened to that, then I'd still be someplace else, and I wouldn't be here with you guys today doing what I'm doing, and I wouldn't have a successful business helping people do the things that they love to do. So, you know, that's a distraction we're going to hear. Even, you know, many of us will hear our parent telling us something from when we were a little kid that we can't do that, or we couldn't accomplish something, or our peers. So, you know, really try to remember that when that little voice comes up in your head, kick it out. We don't, you know, that's just negative energy, and that's going to keep you from reaching your goal and your plan. The next one, creating doubt. Oh my gosh, drama. Drama in the real estate world? Negative thinking, gossiping, oh my gosh, who's doing what, who's where, who's, you know. We all get distracted by all the drama that goes on and with our clients, with other agents, with what's going on in the business, with YouTube, with social media, and it's a huge distraction that keeps you from you know, being productive, doing the things that you need to do to achieve your plans. So again, we need to catch ourselves. It's all about becoming conscious of when these things are happening and get us derailed. You know, many times you get up and you see something on social media that morning, first thing, get your notification, try to turn those off if you can, and now you're triggered. And now you spent 25, 30 minutes on social media, you know, answering to stuff or doing stuff, and total waste of time, not productive. Sure, do you want to have presence on social media? Do you want to check in? So maybe for your notes that you're going to sit down and write, you want to check in on a couple clients to say, hey, what's going on with them? They may have something, or you've seen something exciting, that gives you a reason to write the personal note. So use it in a way that's productive, but catch yourself if it's not productive and take it off the list. Don't go there. And if you find that you can't do that, then don't go there. Do not, you know, you need to really block out 10 minutes of time for social media, that's it, and move on. Huge distraction. The one on there too, creating doubt. Oh my gosh, how many times in our head, I can't do this, can't achieve this, not gonna work for me, works for somebody else, but not for me, blah, blah, blah. So, become conscious of that and make sure we're not going there. The past failures, didn't work before. I did a bunch of pop buys and I didn't get a return on that investment right away. You know, I did a bunch of notes, I did a bunch of calls. Nobody called me back. It's not happening, it's not working. So we quit before, it may be just getting ready to make the tipping point and then we quit. Or past, you know, the past of a negative thought, somebody told you couldn't achieve something, so you are only, the past is gone. You know, you can't change the past. So leave it behind you and always be looking forward. Sure, you learn from your failures, you learn from your mistakes. I wouldn't do that again. I would do it this way instead of that way. But now let's move forward and try not to live in the past because it doesn't get you anywhere. And worry. We all have those, waking up in the middle of the night, oh my gosh, what if this deal falls apart, I'm not going to be able to make my car payment next week. What if, you know, we all work on commission, we all, you know, if things aren't going or you're having a slow time or a slump, we can tend to get into that worry and negative attitude, and that just takes your energy right down and people feel it and know it. And so, you know, if you can try it again, catch yourself, stop, and let's move forward. So what we're going to do next to kind of have you have something to focus on instead of these 4 distractions that keep you from being successful is we're going to have your entrepreneur's mantra, and we're going to write an affirmation underneath of that that'll kind of help keep you from heading down worry path and drama path and thinking about other things that keep you away from your plan. So, my entrepreneur's mantra, it's unacceptable for my business to profit less than blank. What do you want to earn this year? What do you want to earn in 2019? And that's not gross, that's after all of your expenses are paid, what do you want to earn? And stretch yourself. Make it realistic. If you made $10,000 last year, don't put $1 million this year, because that's probably a little bit of a stretch. Not to say that it's not impossible, I never want to have a limiting belief, because you never know, but make it believable for yourself. So, what do you want to earn after you've paid all your expenses, paid the overhead, what do you want to bring home into your pocket? And write a number down there. Don't think too long. Go with what you feel good about, and if you've written it down and that doesn't feel good, change the number. Make it something that feels good to you. So does everybody have their number in there? Mm-hmm. So underneath of that, you've got some blank space there, so we want to write down a positive affirmation that's going to help you when you get distracted or you get down on, you know, you got drama going on in your life or you got worry and doubt and all of those things, you will have an affirmation to look at and just put your mind there instead of going to the negative. So some of the things that you may write, you know, I'm attracting X new sales and everything I do creates perfect end results. That's an affirmation. I'm so happy and grateful that I have 10 new clients this month to work with. I'm so happy and grateful that I just earned, you know, this month I'm earning, you know, $10,000 in commissions. Something that's a positive affirmation that keeps you going, that you can focus in on. So when you get to those other addictive things, we're going to talk a lot about this at our retreat too, where our mind goes when it's not productive. We'll get into this a lot deeper. You know, some of the things you may write down, some of your power affirmations is, I'm disciplined. I'm going to be disciplined today. You know, I'm very grateful that I'm disciplined and can focus on the things I need to get done to build my plan, to reach my why. I'm organized. I plan my work and I follow my plan. So these are just some some quick affirmations that kind of get you refocused. And when you do write an affirmation, you always want to make sure that affirmation is on the positive side. Don't think of, one that always comes to mind is, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm out of debt. You don't want to think about the debt part. You need to say, I'm so happy and thankful and grateful that I'm running a profitable business, that I've earned more money than my expenses are this year. I'm so happy and thankful and grateful that I have 20 new clients this week. Not, I'm happy and grateful that I didn't get a bad client. You know, make sure that you have, that they're positive affirmations and not things that you shouldn't be focused on. And that happens a lot. Sometimes people will write an affirmation that's actually ends up being negative because they went to the negative side. You know, when you're thinking of positive affirmations, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't hear the no part of it. So if you say, I don't want to be late, you can think of that being positive, but all it's hearing is I'm late, I'm going to be late. I don't want to spill something, I'm going to spill something. So try to make it, you know, a positive. I'm always on time. That would be the positive way to say I don't want to be late. I'm always on time for all of my appointments. You know, so just make sure we're positive, because sometimes when we write an affirmation, it can actually not be an affirmation. So now that we've got that, we hopefully have the negative energy out of the way. So what's the plan to get us there? What do we need to do to get our why, to make that amount of profit? So your economic model is on the next page. You're not going to be able to fill all of this out because you're not going to have all of your expenses, but I want to kind of go through it so that you guys can go back and plug these numbers in later, and then it'll get you what you need to do. So your desired profit, that's what you put on the first page there. So you write that on the top line. So your budgeted expenses, some of you may know that off the top of your head. I would say that if you don't, that's probably could be a goal for you this year. You should kind of know, how much does it cost me to run my business every year? And have a number. It's going to be maybe a little off because you may do some different marketing plan, or, you know, obviously if you get more listings, you pay more for photography, those kinds of things will change, but that's okay because that's bringing in more income. So how many of you all use QuickBooks or some other program to do your, so if you use QuickBooks or some other program to do your accounting, just go to your profit and loss, look at it, average it out for the year, you know about how much per month it's going to take for you to run your business. Make sure you have all your expenses in there. Some people, when I very first started, before I used QuickBooks, I had an Excel sheet, and I'd write every month what all my stuff is, and I had my little binder, and I put the receipts in there, and then 6 months in, I'd spend a whole Saturday writing down all these expenses. But hey, it's a way to do it, and you have to pay attention, because if you're not, you could be spending more than you're earning, so it's real important to pay attention. The average commission rate for our office overall, it's 2.6%. So you could probably write that in there. When we do your goal planning every year now with each person, and we look at your numbers, we're also tracking what your average commission rate is, because we want to make sure that you're not selling yourself short. You need to be charging what you're worth in order to run your business and to run it profitably. If you're cutting your commissions or you're cutting yourself short, we're tracking it, and we're going to talk about that at your meeting. Why is that happening? What's happening? Do we have limiting beliefs? Are we, Sue?
When do we have these meetings?
Once a year, on your anniversary date.
Oh, good. Oh, right. Mine, yeah, we got a problem this year. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've never had one of them.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah, yeah, it was, yeah, that we were at a place in your life that, yeah. So we will, and we can set that up again now that you're at a more stable place. Yes, I'm happy to do that. And then your average sales price. If you guys don't know those numbers, we can get those for you. Rachel keeps track of all of your sales and, you know, how many transactions you've done. So you just look at your sales for the year. If you did, you know, 5 million in production, divided by how many sales you did, that's gonna give you your average sales price.
The thing that Rachel sends us after each closing that we have,
Mhm.
is that just a picture of the Excel spreadsheet that shows, you know, how much we made, how much you made? Or can we get in there and play with those numbers?
No, they're not editable to you.
So it's just a.
That might be a nightmare.
It's like changing your grades, you know, break it into the
Right.
homework.
Do like a
change
what
it.
if, you know, it'd be nice to have a what if.
You could make your own spreadsheet if
Okay.
you want to, but oh my
I
gosh,
know.
no, we wouldn't let you answer.
Well, but hers does the math, I want one that does the math, so maybe she can copy that spreadsheet and send it to me. And I promise not to touch you or something.
That's funny, so.
You like that? Only I would ask you that.
Suddenly you guys would all be like earning like, you know, $10 million. So yeah, the formulas, or Cindy can actually help you put the formulas
Okay.
in if you want to do an Excel spreadsheet that just shows that does
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of go through the calculations here. Again, we don't have all of these numbers, but it'll get you to your bottom line, and this is your homework. You'll need to go home and put this in here. So your desired profit plus your budgeted expenses, if you already know that, you can go ahead and put that in there. And we're talking about for a year, not just for the month. So if it's $10,000 a month, that's $120,000 that goes in there. So that'll add up to your revenue that you need. Example, you want to make 150, your expenses are 100, you need to make $250,000 to cover everything.
Sandy, so what is considered an expense? Anything that you put into your business,
Yes.
including like monthly fees or?
Yes.
Gas,
Okay.
travel,
You-
mileage.
You want to write off
Everything.
everything you possibly
Everything.
can write off. If you took a client to lunch, you paid for lunch, that lunch is a marketing expense.
Okay,
If you want to keep track of your mileage,
yeah,
you know, talk to your accountant whether it's mileage or
Right.
actual car expense. Most people, I think mileage works out better.
It does, you get more money from the government.
So,
I had to do the same thing for decades, the weekly sheet with all the receipts.
so keep that, anything, and
Okay.
one of the
That's what I
nice
thought.
things about being
Call it the
self-employed
weed
is you
sheet.
can sometimes write off things that
right,
you know, that you wouldn't necessarily write off for your business, but if you went to, you know, anything, if you go to an open house and you buy, you know, milk and cookies, those milk and cookies are your marketing expense and you write the whole thing off, even though maybe you take half of them home and you eat them later because nobody showed up to your house. It's still a marketing
Now
expense.
there's a negative thought.
Yeah, but the
I
milk and
gotcha.
cookies are really good,
They
and you
were.
write that off.
which led to me gaining weight and my sugar increased.
And too
So
many
then you have
burgers
health
open.
expenses to write off.
Too many burgers open, yeah.
So yes, everything,
Okay.
keep it, you know, keep that, and it's nice, you know, if you use a credit card, keep it separate from your personal, because it makes it so easy, you
Yes.
just know what those expenses are, so.
Gotcha.
So what is your experience been, is there a recommended number or a percentage that you should be spending on marketing isn't there
You know, that's so,
I've
because
heard
it
different
really
numbers.
depends on what your, you know, what your
Yes.
business model is. Do you have a team, do you not have a team, how much money are you making? What you do want to do is make sure any marketing expense that you're putting out there is you're tracking it. So if you pay for Zillow leads, how many leads did you get from Zillow and what did that turn into for revenue? Because if you spent $10,000 in revenue and you got $5,000, $10,000 on Zillow leads, but you only made $5,000 back, you don't want to pay for that marketing anymore. So I would say if it's working and it's making you a profit, then you want to continue with that marketing. If it's not, but that's the importance of tracking it, making sure that what you are putting out, you're getting a return on that investment. So. And we know, we just know over and over and over again, that's why we teach Buffini and Sales Mastery, that little box that shows up every month, you get a great return on that investment. $150 a month, and if they're mailing it and you pay them $100, $250 a month, you know, do that, and absolutely you will get a return on that investment. So track where your stuff's coming from, you know. Make sure when somebody calls you, how did you find out about me? Who can I thank today for letting me, you know, for giving you my name? So I can't say, because everybody's model is different, and everybody wants to earn different levels of income, and are you supporting a team or not too? Sometimes you may pay a little more for marketing than an overall percentage, because you're gonna make it on the back end by supporting your team, so. I wish I could tell you the exact number, but I say track it and see what works. Don't sign up for something for too long of a period of time and it's not working. But you need to give it enough time to work too. Make sense? Okay, let's finish that sheet. So you put your budget as, now we know your revenue needed. Now we take that revenue and divide it by the average commission rate, which would be your 2.6%. And that gives you your closed volume needed. So maybe that comes into 5 million in closed volume, 6 million. So if you guys kind of want to do some numbers on the side that are just fake numbers until you have your real numbers, so you can kind of work through, you can do that as well. After you have your closed volume needed, so say it's 5 million, and your average sales price is say 200,000. Then that'll give you the transactions that you need to make your plan work. So
does the 2.6% take into account, what is that thing that we pay you called? It starts with an R.
your wrap balance?
Yeah,
The 2.6% is gross. You wanna do all, your expenses are all
so
coming
that
off
wrap
of
thing
this.
comes under our expenses?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay, all right. So the 2.6 is not counting the, it's gross.
That's
Got
gross.
it, all right.
So you take your amount of profit and divide it by the commission rate you said?
You want to do your your revenue needed, yes, divided by your average commission rate, 2.6%. If you don't know what yours is, that's the average for the office.
Right,
Maybe yours is 2.4, maybe yours is 2.8.
okay. I'll use 2.6, but we make our number and this is what we want to earn and divide by 2.6.
Correct.
Included that.
So just for an example, if somebody has their calculator out and you want to do a number, so say your revenue needed is 250,000, and you divide that by your 2.6% commission, that's going to give you your gross volume, sales volume that you need.
250 divided by 2.6,
Mhm.
96,153.
No,
0.026.
make sure you put the percent in
Oh,
there.
okay. 250 divided by 0.026. 9,650,000, there we go. $9,615,384.62.
So there you go.
There I go. Yeah.
So now you have that $9 million number in there. And then you would divide that by your average sales price. And if you don't know what that is, because you're newer or you haven't done as many transactions, the average sales price, actually in Frederick County this year it went up. It's closer to 300,000 this year in Frederick County.
I can start working in
What
Frederick.
is it?
I know, like Hagerstown, Pennsylvania, people are a bunch of deadbeats.
So Washington County's 187 this year. It went up a little bit because it was like 183 or 5 last year.
That's because Elisa teaches.
So.
We can thank Elisa.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just overall in the whole county, not just for our
Oh,
office.
okay.
That's overall.
187?
Yeah, so, and if you guys need to know those numbers, again, you look at your own numbers,
Right.
because part of it's who you're marketing to. you know, what your sphere is. You know, some people are gonna have higher, some people will have lower. If we see again that you continue to have a lower sales price, then we may wanna, you know, work up that marketing plan a little differently. Who's your sphere? Do we wanna market target some different neighborhoods or different level of sphere? Do we need to be, you know, networking more business to business versus, you know, so those are all things that we can take into consideration to help that number too.
Pizza Hut.
So the other,
Ah.
the concept I'm having trouble with
And then Charlotte.
is including in the budget, like the rep and the split and all of that. How do we figure that? Do we just look at like what it was this past year?
Yeah, get your taxes out, see what your expenses were last year.
Get my
So,
taxes.
so when you're on the route, it's a little different. People who, you know, the people who are on the 100% plan are going to get